The Sahara now is the world's biggest dust bowl. But the tiny Nummulites fossils suggest that it was once very different, that perhaps there could have been water in this barren wilderness. Smith heads further inland to investigate this extraordinary idea. She travels to a remote desert valley near where the pyramid stones were quarried. It's called Wadi al-Hitan. Spread out in the sand lie hundreds of fossils, first excavated in 1983. But these are nothing like the tiny Nummulites.
That's a whale. So here's the backbone, the vertebrae. Here's some ribs, shoulder, part of the front fin, and there are the jaws. This guy definitely did not live in a desert.
This incredible fossil is a Dorodon, an ancestor of modern whales, one that died out 36 million years ago.
So based on the size of these vertebrae and how much of the animal was here, it was probably about 21 feet long. This guy tells us that we were underwater. We were in the middle of an ocean.
Wadi al-Hitan is Arabic for Valley of the Whales. This 12-mile dip in the landscape has the highest concentration of fossils in the world. Some were found in the desert floor, others in the cliff walls. The count so far is 400. Almost all are marine animals. Further evidence that the Sahara was once covered by sea.
So here we've got the fossil of a baby whale. You can see the lower jaw down here with some teeth, and the shoulder, the backbone, some ribs, and all curled around. Actually, the tail comes right back to near the head.
As if finding whales in the desert wasn't intriguing enough, there's yet another mystery to be solved. A lot of the fossils are of very young Dorodons, like this one. A delicate mesh of stone helps explain why so many baby whales died in this place.
Wow, so finding that whale fossil told us we were in the ocean. These rocks actually tell us a lot more about what type of ocean we were dealing with. These are all fossilized mangrove roots.
These roots would have been below water. The mangrove trees would have risen above it.
Since trees don't grow out of the deep ocean, we know that this area was actually under shallow ocean at the time these rocks were deposited. Something probably that looked like the Florida Everglades, where there are mangroves growing now.
Smith has discovered the shoreline of the ancient sea. The shallowness of the water could explain why there were so many young animals here.
So one idea, there's a bunch of these baby whale fossils found in this area, and this would have been a shallow protected bay that maybe the whales came just to birth their young. It is absolutely incredible to see a fossilized whale in a place that right now gets less than 1 millimeter of rainfall a year. It's as much convincing evidence for geologic change as I can imagine.
The pieces of the puzzle are coming together to reveal the Sahara's watery past.
So 40 million years ago, this desert would have been covered in the middle of this valley by a shallow bay, probably a brilliant tropical blue-green color. The shoreline would have been off along the horizon, some mangrove trees in the shallowest parts of it.
Inland would have been a vibrant combination of rainforest and swampland. The whales would have been drawn to this ancient shore because of the plentiful supply of food. But their ocean is about to vanish. Marine fossils found in Europe and Africa are evidence that this ocean stretched almost halfway around the world and connected Asia to the Atlantic. It's called the Tethys Sea, and much of the Sahara was submerged under it. The mystery is how and when this lush water world turned into the barren wasteland we see today. The answer lies not in climate patterns, but in geology. The entire African continent is underpinned by a giant piece of the Earth's crust. It's called a tectonic plate, And 40 million years ago, in what is known as the Eocene Age, it was on the move.
So at Wadi al-Hitan, we have whales swimming around in this Eocene Ocean, all the while the African plate is moving to the north.
Africa collides with Europe, closing the Tethys Sea. But the African plate keeps moving.
So we uplifted the northern part of Africa, and so the Tethys Sea recedes. And we've got this whole area of North Africa now emerged. It's out on land.
The whales of Wadi al-Hitan are cut off and trapped in smaller and smaller pools of water. The deadly Sahara has claimed its first victims.